Welcome to another episode of Wrestling with WorldWide Willis. This podcast is brought to you by the LNG Podcast Network. And today, I have my guy, Patty Pat, coming through as a guest. What up, Patrick?
Going on, man? Appreciate you having me on. I've listened to a couple of them, and I think it was after like midway through the first one I texted you, and I was like, "Hey, man, you gotta get me in one of these. I think it'd be a good one." So glad to finally be on.
Yeah, man, for sure. I mean, people don't know, man. Just give a background. I like to give background on me and my guest, and me and Pat go way back, man. We used to work at the basketball in college in Northwestern Oklahoma State. I was a coach. Pat was one of our like key managers and ran a bunch of all the other stuff. Did our like scouting and our video and all that stuff. He's basically our video coordinator, basically. And yeah, man. But on the side, we just be talking about wrestling.
Yeah, playing the wrestling game.
Yeah,
that was a frequent on the road trips on the systems.
Yeah, bro. Like it was. If those that don't know, like we play 2K. And it was to the point where, like, it was one season where we was trash, like we was out here garbage. And so if we didn't have a scout, like me and Coach Jones would pull up in Pat's room and we'd just be playing 2K all day before games, before practices, and yeah, them things got intense.
Oh yeah, lots of yelling, lots of
a lot of like cuss words, a lot of we was going at it, bro. Because I remember I used to get pissed when you used Shawn Michaels and you used, was it Seth Rollins at the time? I can't remember.
Yeah, that had the quick finishers because you could.
Yeah, exactly. Because your reverses and the quick finishers used to piss me off, bro.
And the roll up pins, that was my go-to.
Bro, I was so hot when you used to do that, bro.
That's a weak win. Doesn't count. I was like, hey, counted 3.
Bro, because we would do like fatal 4-way, whatever. And you would like, to win, you basically just had to be an opportunist. Like you couldn't just, you know what I mean, throw somebody out the ring, take a pin that somebody else just finished the guy on, you know what I'm saying? Sure. But yeah, so yeah, me and Pat go way back, especially with the wrestling stuff. So glad to have you on. So, all right, everybody, folks know the deal. First, we're going to go over the matches of the week. I'll present my 2 candidates, and then Pat will present his. And, we'll kind of discuss each of them individually. My first one is AEW tag team match, FTR versus Bullet Club Gold. Yeah,
that's the one I had.
Bro.
Yeah.
That match was fire, man.
I'm a big FTR guy. Anything FTR is in, I very much enjoy. I'm not a big AEW guy. But right. I like FTR. They're that old school like Smash Mouth tag team that like
exactly.
They know how to work a tag team match. They know how to make it important. It's
right.
They can have a good match with about anybody. To be honest,
it's facts. It's true, man. Like, and it's weird because like in WWE, I wasn't a huge fan of them, and I don't know why. Like, because I love their Smash Mouth style, like you said, but like when they got to FTR, it just got a certain different swag to them. I don't know what it was, but. Yeah, man. Them dudes can have a good match with anybody.
Yeah, if you go back, a lot of their NXT stuff was better than the main roster stuff.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you go back to the NXT stuff, it's pretty similar to what they're doing now. Like they had great matches with Ciampa and Gargano. There's another team, but it was like 3 teams back to back in like a couple pay-per-views that they just like stole the show.
Gotcha.
And that's why a lot of people were mad on the main roster that they didn't get as much of a opportunity.
Yeah,
to really showcase their talent because they could have carried the tag division. I mean, they were tag team champs multiple times, but they just booking and creative and stuff like that.
Like bro, I remember when it wasn't the NWO, it was DX got a reunion or something on a Raw anniversary, and they used FTR. What was their name back then? I forgot, but they basically came in and like. They got super kicked. It was just like a bit. They was used as like a bit for the DX, and it was just like, oh, this is disrespectful to them.
Yeah. That was one of the biggest things that people had is like you're using one of your top tag teams as a joke bit.
Exactly.
Super kicked and beat up by these 60-year-olds that barely made it to the ring. Like
exactly, yeah. Like they would destroy them in the real. And so I really love FTR. I love their style. I love, you know what I mean. It's a little too much Bret Hart. Homage is a little too much, but overall it's nice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I love Bullet Club Gold is growing on me. I wasn't a huge like I'm not familiar as much with. I'm trying to get more familiar
Yeah.
with New Japan, but
Yeah, same.
they're like I love Juice. Juice is growing on me. He got some sweet. He's nice. He's
Really, I
nice.
haven't seen much of his stuff. Jay White, I've seen a couple things of him. He doesn't impress me all that much, but
Hmm.
I'm sure he's one of those like the more you watch, the more it's like okay
Yeah,
that he can do kind of
and I
thing.
like the Bullet Club like concept. It reminds me like old school like NWO, but maybe a little more cooler, like a little more like wrestling centric rather than like all the other antics.
Yeah,
So I'm really, yeah, I really like I said on the last episode, like Bullet Club Gold is like growing on me. I think, and even on that match, like when they got the first fall, like the crowd was going crazy. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that match in a 2 out of 3 falls match, you just don't see that in tag teams.
right. And that was their first match that they faced each other, and that's one of my things with AEW. Sometimes is I feel like they rush to the stipulation. Like
Yeah,
that could have easily been just a normal one fall finish match and still been a banger. And
right.
then you have the losing team come back and say, "Hey, we want to challenge again." Not, the first two you don't make it for the title. One team wins
Yeah,
one time, the next team wins the other, and then that's when you go to the okay, well, best 2 out of 3, let's go, and then
yeah.
you have a pay-per-view because that was a pay-per-view caliber match they
It
gave away for
was.
free,
Yeah, it's
for
true.
free.
It's true. And I mean, you're right though. Like I feel like they're trying to get ratings up and all this other stuff up.
Yeah,
Is that they're kind of taking stuff off of pay-per-views and putting it on free TV, which is cool for us, but it's also like, all right, now like Blood and Guts, like what you know what I'm saying? That could have been a perfect match for Blood and Guts or whatever their next pay-per-view is. I think that's it. But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. The All In
Um
one too, which is in London, which is
oh,
they
that's
could have
right. Yeah.
they could have
All in.
built to that. Yeah,
That would have been perfect. I
yeah.
think
No
Jay
reason to
White is
rush.
from out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'm not. You're right though. They do definitely rush stipulations. Like they will get a stipulation in there in a hot second.
yeah,
Uh, but no, I'm glad we thought the same one because that match was fire. That match was
yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
Very good.
Okay, and then the next one I had was the U.S. title invitational. The Santos Escobar, AJ Styles, Grayson Waller, and Butch P Dunn. I don't even want to call him Butch anymore.
Yeah, let's be done.
But
Yeah,
yeah, it's Pete Dunne to me. But yeah, that Fatal Four was really fun. Like that was really fun. I was surprised that Escobar came out with the win, but I was happy that he did. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
I love the way Waller played in it. He was more like he was comedy, but he also looked serious at the same time. AJ looked like a threat. Butch got his time in. So yeah, I was satisfied with it.
yeah. I like that one too. Matter of fact, I just kind of recently finished watching that. I had family in
Yeah.
town or whatever, but I liked how, like you said, Escobar came out on top, and they also built other storylines
Yeah,
within that,
yeah.
which is good, which is where you want to go with it. And then like Pete Dunne can go. We all know
Exactly.
AJ can go.
Right.
AJ can. You put a broomstick in there with AJ, and it's gonna be at least 3 stars.
Yeah, we'll talk about AJ later. We'll talk about AJ later. But yeah.
Stop. Grayson Waller, he's getting there. So he was the perfect like fourth guy to put in there. And then
Right.
Santos, they brought the LWO back, so I'm glad they're actually like giving
Pushing
people
and
pushes with it. Yeah.
yeah, I agree. I love Santos. And I've said on other episodes, like I want him to go heel, but I'm glad that while he's a babyface, he's still getting still getting some shine.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not a natural babyface, like you can kind of tell that, but you know, he can wrestle. So, and it's like you said, all four of those guys can go. So and I think that kind of like highlights how deep the roster is right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just four random dudes just put on a really good match. Like that's like 10 years ago, that wasn't the case. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Um,
Exactly. You fast forwarded it until you saw John Cena or Edge or
exactly.
Undertaker, like, those
Right.
guys. Now it's like, okay, I actually want to watch more of the mid card than
Right.
the main event
Exactly.
stuff.
That's true. And like, yeah, like a few, like 5, 6, 7 years ago, yeah, you didn't care about the main, you know what I'm saying? You didn't care about the
Right.
Miz versus Dolph Ziggler versus some random, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think even the other US title invitational match I think will be good. I think and I love, everything with the mid card both sides. Theory, not a big fan of his, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, I think his next opponent will be pretty good. But okay, so that was our matches of the week. Some really good selections there. Folks, if you haven't seen them, go check them out. Really fun ones. So now we'll kind of touch on the SummerSlam potential card. Obviously, things can change, but we kind of know what the deal is. First, let's talk about Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. How you feeling about this?
That's gonna be good. Obviously,
Yeah.
I don't think Jay's gonna be the one to dethrone him, and if he does, it's gonna be a huge surprise and it'll be cool.
Right.
I'm on definitely the trend that Cody's got to dethrone him, but that match is gonna be really good. Like the emotion going into it. I'm hoping that between now and then they put some kind of stipulation to kind of like let it get, not necessarily that it needs one, but just like to amp it a little bit more because those two can have a banger without the stipulation.
Right.
But that's gonna be a good match. That's probably gonna close the show for sure.
Yeah, I would think so. Especially if it's for the title, which I think it is. So I think you're right. Like I'm so like it's funny because I'm seeing like on Twitter like people are like, this is it, and I'm like, bro, y'all falling for this again. We've done this 19 times.
Yeah,
Sammy, Finn, like 1,000 different people. Seth. It was just
Cody.
like Cody. Yeah, they was just like, this is the guy. This is the time. And then the next week they're like, oh man, why he didn't win?
Yeah.
And it's like I respect Jay, but like he can't be the one to end it. I'm sorry.
No,
like,
my prediction is going to be Solo.
Yeah, I can see Solo. Yeah, I think I agree with that. I definitely agree. I definitely think Cody will be the one to like finish it. But like, yeah, that's WrestleMania probably. You know what I'm saying? That's a long time from now.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish it was Gunther, but I get it. I get why you wouldn't do that, but I do think it'd be money if they did go up against each other. But yeah, that wouldn't be cool. I mean, it's fun. I'll be honest. I'm still mourning the bloodline. Like I love the bloodline. So like seeing all this. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Seeing all of it come to an end, it's like, it's kind of like, I don't know, the movie's about to end that you really enjoyed. So,
yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think Roman's about to smash dude, but, it is what it is.
It'll be good. He'll get his licks in.
Yeah, he'll get his licks in. You get 1,000 super kicks in, and then, then he'll get smashed. Exactly. Okay, next we have what we think is going to be Seth Rollins versus Finn. I mean, that's still up in the air. Who knows? But what do you think about that one?
I think that's going to be another good one. Again, both guys that can go. They have the story already. It's almost like two. They want to take the title off of Seth, but they've been teasing that Damian Priest is going to cash in.
Right.
And on Raw this past week, Damian Priest held up the briefcase after Finn was like, I want to be the one to beat Seth. And Damian's like, either way, it'll happen. Right. So it's kind of like, hey, if you don't get the job done, I'm going to get the job done.
Right.
So it's like you have those two kind of like, are they good? Are they not good? And then obviously they have the beef with Seth. But their matches, even dating back to when they face off for the Universal Championship, that match was good. The match most recently was good. Like it'll be good. I'm very excited to see that one as well.
Yeah, same. I'm hoping we get like a legit match. Like I like Damian and he's growing on me. And I like, he has the money, but I get it. I get the drama, but let's just get Finn versus Seth. You know what I'm saying? Like let's just get, and it's SummerSlam. So I don't want to see this whole like, oh, Damian came out and like pump faked if he was going to cash in and then Finn got it. I don't want to see that. Like, I just want to see them go at it. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it should be fun. I mean, it's kind of obviously rinse and repeat, but it is what it is, I guess. This next match, this might be the most exciting match on the card to me, is Asuka versus Bianca versus Charlotte for the title. Triple threat. I wish they would do more like multiple women matches. Like I feel like they steer away from triple threats a lot and they just do the one-on-one thing. But like this build has been fun. Like they just run up and just start beating the hell out of each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I definitely enjoy that. The three of them, all very good. I think they stay away from the multi-women ones because sometimes it gets a little clunky.
Yeah.
It's just because not all of them have that great wrestling background. I mean, they can all.
Right.
Don't get me wrong; they're all good athletes. They can all go, but just like it's not as fluid all the time. So
Right.
I think
Yeah.
that's why they kind of stay away. But those three should be good because Charlotte knows how to work. Asuka knows how to work. Bianca's it's good. Bianca's good.
Whoa. Whoa.
We'll
Whoa,
get
Pat.
we'll get back to that later. But
Wow. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm going at your head when you say that. But but yeah, no, I get it. I mean, I agree with you. Like, it's not always fluid. But again, you got people like Liv Morgan in there, Shotzi. Like, you have people in there who can't, I mean, they can't work
yeah,
like that.
right
Whereas
now, yeah,
these
they're
three,
still very
yeah,
green.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, where these three, it's like, okay, they could potentially put on a classic. They just got to give them time. So I'm thinking, I don't want Bianca to win just because I want Bianca to go heel. But if she does win and maybe switches up on everybody and goes like NXT kind of Bianca like she did, I would like that.
yeah. I noticed on SmackDown, the Street Profits got in the
Yeah,
ride with Bobby Lashley, so that'd be interesting. That her
yeah,
business looks a little more interesting than the other one.
yeah.
Like
I
that
agree.
looks like it gives it. I feel they feel more main event.
Yeah, I
If
agree
that
with
makes
that.
sense than the original version of it. Like I
No,
wouldn't
I
mind that
agree.
at all.
Yeah, that'd be dope. And then like maybe Bianca, like just like Judgment Day, you got Rhea, and
Yeah,
then what I mean, her business, you got Bianca Belair. That'd be dope. That'd be fire. I'm hoping Charlotte don't win just because out of boredom. I just don't want to see that. And
yeah,
Oscar, ooh,
yeah.
we might have to revisit Oscar a little later. Uh,
Oh,
um, okay, next one we have Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. How do you think about that one?
I like it. I don't necessarily think this was like needed, but
Yeah,
I'm glad they went in some kind of direction with Cody after Roman.
yeah,
And it doesn't really make sense. Like I wish unless I don't remember Brock coming out and saying why he attacked Cody, but I mean
no,
that's how Brock's always been.
right,
You don't have
it's
to give an
true.
explanation. Like
Yeah,
I'm Brock Lesnar, that's why I did
right,
it, kind of thing.
yeah,
But I mean, the first two matches were pretty good. So this third one is gonna be probably just as good. I'm interested to see if they do a stipulation with it or
hmm
not. But even if they don't, like it'll be good. A bull rope match with that would be kind of cool. Kind of a throwback
yeah.
to Dusty
That would be
Rhodes.
that would be cool. I think the Spurs, especially like Cody's a perfect person to do like old school stipulation matches like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because he appreciates that type of stuff,
Yeah.
and I think he could sell Brock on doing it. You know what I'm saying? Brock ain't
Yeah.
just about to sign up for whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it would still
Uh,
let Brock look dominant because Brock's
exactly.
a big dude that's got a Cody Rhodes type guy that,
Yeah.
you know, Brock's can drag him around the ring and it'll be very believable,
Right. It's
which will
true.
be good.
Yeah, I agree. No, I think if they let them just go at it, it'll be a fun, great match. But if they
Hmm.
do like some like the last one with the hand thing, and then it's just stupid stuff. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But if they just let them just brawl and just go at like kind of like what they used to do with like Brock and CM Punk and Brock and like Daniel Bryan, just squash, but then the guy comes back or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun. Um, but yeah, so I'm thinking Cody comes out with the win just because he kind of has to overcome the beasts.
Yeah.
Um, but we'll see. With Brock, you never know. You never really know, especially
Yeah.
if Vince is around.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah. Next we have my man Gunther versus Drew McIntyre. You know how I feel about Gunther. Gunther's the GOAT to me.
Yeah.
But
Gunther should win this, but it's still going to be very good.
yeah, it'll be
And
really good.
I'm glad they're focusing on the mid card titles as much as they are.
Yeah,
It's
oh yeah.
like I remember like Triple H used to hold the Intercontinental title,
Yeah,
guys like that, and it was like that's the one everybody wanted to fight for. Like
yeah,
that was it used to be you got the Intercontinental title it was a test to see if you could hold the big
yeah.
belt, and it was
Right,
just kind of progressed from that.
right.
But Gunther's definitely gonna win this. I don't see them having him lose to Drew for the title as the way as much as they've built him and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it's heavy hitting. it's gonna be
Yeah.
just there. It's gonna be
Brawl, bro.
body.
Dude.
That's big bodies in the paint for
Yeah.
sure.
Big men slapping meat, man. I'm wondering, yeah, I agree with you though. Like the Intercontinental title was like Eddie Guerrero, Chris Jericho. It was like all the dudes that was like about to get it. The Rock, shoot, a lot of people, So I think Gunther's going that old school route like that, and I think he'll hold it until Roman is no longer champ. Like I think as soon as let's say Cody wins at WrestleMania, I think Gunther loses IC title, and then they go at it for the championship. Just because like what they did in the Royal Rumble, just in that little few minutes, you saw like they could have a really good rivalry. So
yeah, dude, and being actually there, like in the building, because I went and watched the Rumble live.
Oh
and,
damn!
Yeah, dude, and it was when that part of it, a lot of Gunther stuff, like the crowd was just eating it up. It was just
Really?
popping everything. Yeah.
Right.
So he's Gunther's very over, and then like the Gunther Cody, everybody was like, oh, this is what we want. And like couple on Twitter, I've seen that's at some point possibly the plan is to have Cody, Roman, or if it gets to a point where they feel like they need to change course, Gunther Roman because of the pop he's getting. So
yeah, I think so, man. I think people love Gunther. They love a person who just likes to beat the hell out of people. And so, yeah, I think especially just think, he's been booked perfectly. He's had classic matches. It's just hard to root against somebody like that, So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think he wins this one. Like you said, I am interested to see what Drew does after this, but maybe goes heel. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
He did say there's on an interview on Raw that him and Matt Riddle were gonna start. Didn't like all the factions or whatever, like all the groups, and he was like, "We're gonna go." This is the start of us trying to like get rid of them all, or some shit like that. So like, it's gonna be. I'm assuming if he does lose, they'll get away from Imperium, but like they'll go to like the Judgment Day or some other other group.
I agree. Next one we have Ronda Rousey versus Shayna. I mean, we don't have to spend too much time on this if you don't want.
No. I hope Shayna goes over. From what I heard, it's gonna be it's Ronda's like last go.
Yeah.
And then she's calling it quits. But yeah, there's just Shayna. I'm gonna go Shayna.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to let them do just like a legit UFC type thing. Both with that background, it might be a little bit better.
Right.
Because Ronda may not have to try to hold the punches as much because she knows like when Shayna's from there, she can take them.
Right.
It may just turn into if it turns into a submission fest, it might just be the best match that Ronda's had.
Yeah. No,
her whole WWE run.
It's facts. Like if we can get something to where, because I think the crowd will go for. I mean, the crowd will obviously go for Shayna, but like I think they could naturally go for Shayna. I think Shayna's like likable. I think her promo against Ronda was dope.
Yeah.
That she did. Like she can talk, she can do all that stuff. Like I remember when I saw her in Up, Up, Down, Down one time, I was like, oh dang, this girl can like talk. Like even I guess no one knows that because we haven't seen what she's done in NXT since. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If
they let her go back to NXT, Shayna, that the women's division just hits that much better.
Exactly. Like let her have a little crew behind her, and then she can be the like final boss type of thing, like she used to be back then. Like back then, yeah, she was a killer. Like no one wanted to face Shayna. Like, she was gonna make you tap. So, all right, next one. I mean, this one's kind of for the kids, but Ricochet versus Logan Paul.
Man, when I tell you that Logan Paul is not my favorite guy, not an understatement by any means. I don't like that guy. He's athletic. Don't get me wrong. He's done some cool stuff, but I'm like, dude, get off my TV. Like I'd rather see Ricochet and I don't know, Dolph Ziggler. Just give me somebody that's not Logan Paul. Yeah. Like there's so many other people that can go.
I honestly thought you would like Logan Paul.
No.
I feel he fits the aesthetic of the wrestlers you like, bro.
No.
You're
absolutely
like
not.
You're an HBK, Seth Rollins,
I am.
Finn Balor type of guy.
Logan Paul's not that. Logan Paul's a hockey. I don't like it, man. He got it. He's what he's been brought in to do. He's done well, but I'd rather see like Ricochet against Montez Ford. I'd rather see that one
I
on
agree with
one
that. I agree
than
with that.
Ricochet and Logan Paul. Because like after that match, where's the story going? It's not for a title. It's not for like. Is Ricochet going to fight him for the ownership of Prime? Like, and Prime's terrible too. Like,
yeah, it is. It is. Causing cancer and stuff out here.
Yeah.
But no, you're right though. I mean, it's definitely it's just for the grab. It's a cash grab type match.
Yeah, it's going to be a spot fest. They're all
spot fest.
It's a bunch of So
that's true. It's going to be fucking. What was it? Osprey versus Ricochet, like that type of match. Like,
that type of
very choreographed and yeah. No, that's a good point. I honestly just thought he's your cup of tea, bro. You like those type of guys.
Not at all. Stop!
Bro.
Don't put that on me.
Don't put that on me.
Not Logan Paul. HBK, AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler, those type of guys. None. I mean, they are, but not like, not like Logan Paul. They actually can go. Logan Paul can just jump off the top rope, man. Throw a few kicks. I mean, pay me $1 million. I'll figure out how to do it. It's not hard. I'll take a bump.
That's funny. Oh, that's good. All right. Next we have Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez. I keep wanting to say Gonzalez. I'm interested.
You're gonna go that route?
I think so. That's the prediction. Now I don't know.
Yeah, they haven't really given Rhea a clear like next opponent, but I know she had that match with Natty and Raquel and Liv both ran in.
Yeah.
But they also have the tag titles. I know at some point I think they're defending them.
Right. I'm wondering because don't they defend them against Chelsea Green and Sonya, or did that already happen?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's the way they should go. Raquel, what pisses me off is like the internet is like, she's so overrated. Why do they push her? I'm like, bro, what WWE messed up by bringing her in as a babyface. She should have did what she did in NXT. I thought she was dope in NXT. She was Dakota Kai's muscle. You know what I mean? Dakota Kai was a heel. If she needed to handle somebody, she put sick Raquel on her.
Like HBK and Diesel back.
Diesel, exactly. Like, and so bringing her in as a babyface, she's just smiling and showing her back all the time.
Yeah,
like they don't do that for you. Yeah, it's just like other than a Texas crowd, no one really cares. You know what I mean? And so I just wish she was somebody's muscle and then stepped up and became a solo star.
Yeah, I think they can still do that with her as a babyface though. Like Liv Morgan be the perfect one to let her be Liv's muscle as a babyface.
That's true.
You know, just as long as she's somebody's muscle. Like I get what you're saying.
Yeah, that's true. Liv, man, I used to be on the Liv train. I used to be like, hey, give her an opportunity, please.
I still am. I'm the captain, bro. I'm driving that train. Next stop, Worldwide. Come on, Worldwide. Get on the train.
No, bro. That Liv
more
is
in-ring work though. She didn't have much of a run in NXT. For a good bit until
you've said it for almost 8, 6, 7 years. Like, Liv got potential.
Not wrong.
Oh man, she's gotten really well.
She's
really
another. She needs to go against more people who know how to carry a match, and I think the more she does that, the more it'll benefit her. Like, give her a 1.5 year long feud with Natty, and just let Natty teach her the ropes.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
And we're going.
Because like her against Ronda was just like, what are we watching?
Well, that's the thing. That's what hurt her with getting in that feud.
Yeah,
both of them are greener than grass.
Right, exactly.
And so neither one of them can carry a match. Like if you put Liv in there with Charlotte,
right,
it was money. Yeah. Charlotte can carry the match, and Charlotte knows how to be the big, taller bully.
Yeah,
and then let Liv Morgan be the face and work up like that. Ronda doesn't know how to do that. Liv doesn't know how to help Ronda do that. Mm-hmm. So that's what hurt Liv. But she'll get there.
Here we go. 2 years from now, you're like, she'll get there. Hey, man, give her some more work. Give her some more time.
WrestleMania 41. She'll get there.
Exactly. Like I've given her too much. I've given her a lot of stakes, a lot of chances, a lot of hey, it'll get better. Give her a run. And it's just like, nah, it ain't it.
She's definitely a tag team star. Like there's those wrestlers that are like, there's tag team wrestlers, and then there's singles wrestlers, and there's singles guys who could be in tag team, but they're also good at singles. She's tag team. She's a tag team wrestler.
For sure. She needs to probably stay that route. Okay, next we have Trish versus Becky Lynch.
Man, what you remember back in the day when we were like, man, Trish and Lita are the greatest. They came back, and every time they come back, I'm like, they're gonna hurt somebody. They're gonna hurt themselves. Bro, what was it? Because the TV was in standard def and not high def, or what?
I don't know what. Back then, it was just like they pulled off a Hurricane Rana. Oh my god!
Yeah, like they didn't do much, and it's like, oh, and now it just looks like, oh, I don't know, man. It looks bad. Northwestern trying to play Harding for every time to get a ring.
But yeah, bro, like watching that WrestleMania match, bro, it was just like everything with the pace was off. Like they were like going slower to make sure they do stuff right. I'm just like, yo, I feel bad for Becky and others who have to like carry this thing.
Yeah, and Io Sky, Dakota can go. Bailey can go, but she's still, I think, trying to figure out her knee with it from the injury.
Right.
Like, but all three of those and Becky, like those four can go.
Right.
And you could tell they were working around the other two.
Exactly. They were definitely trying to figure out how to make them somehow look good. And it was just like, ugh, this is rough for the memories.
Brutal. Yeah.
I cried. Yeah, like, but I definitely think Becky wins this. Like, I think, obviously she lost at Night of Champions. Like, she's gonna get her leg back.
It's like Jordan coming back and playing for the Wizards, man. Like, leave your legacy there. You shouldn't have come back. Like, I mean, he didn't do terrible, but like, he didn't need to go play for the Wizards. Like, they didn't need to come back. There's plenty of female talent in the back that could have helped Becky with damage control. Bring up 2 other NXT girls.
Man, there's so many out there, and then we bring back just some names. Like, they're not even ready to wrestle.
Yeah, and they didn't even really sell WrestleMania. Cody and Roman did.
Yeah,
and nobody bought tickets. Like, man, I bought this ticket because I want to go see Trish Stratus. No, that's why you go buy the all access meet and greet ticket.
That's hilarious. Yeah, bro. All right, last one. I'm really excited for this. Well, this is still a potential with that U.S. Invitational. Now, I'm not sure. Well, I guess LA Knight did win his, but LA Knight versus Austin Theory for the United States Champion.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd rather have LA Knight have it.
Because I think,
like, Austin Theory's got that wrestler build. I just don't think he's got the charisma for it. You know what I'm saying? But, like, he can act like he's cocky and, like, he's got it, but it's not believable. And I think
he's not. You could say he's not naturally in his life cocky,
right? Or if he is, he's like he doesn't know how to portray it on the screen too, because and like the fans, I think, don't believe it, which doesn't help because of that Money in the Bank briefcase run that he had, and all that nonsense. Is like, is he gonna do it? Is he not? And it was kind of like a joke kind of thing, and like it just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
But I would definitely. This is the perfect time to dethrone Theory and put it on LA Knight, because the crowd. I don't know if they're gonna keep the building not burned down much longer if LA Knight doesn't win something.
I agree,
but
man.
I'm about it.
Yeah, I'm down for sure. Because I think, like, to me, like, unfortunately for Theory, I like Theory. I really liked him when he was with The Way. I thought him, Gargano, that whole crew, great. I thought he was funny. He was the dumb, funny guy, in the crew. You know what I'm saying? Who could really wrestle. And so I just think when you got LA Knight, Grayson Waller, 2 dudes who were almost better in the ring and 10 times better, like, charisma-wise, like, it kind of corners the market as far as, like, the cocky champion type of guy. So I think LA Knight's the guy. You got to put it on. You got to get that moment.
Yeah, the crowd, like, they put him on the pre-show thing, and people were pissed.
Yeah,
why isn't it on the main roster or on the main show? Like, what? Yeah, like, you got to put something on LA Knight at some point, or you're gonna lose the crowd. And then with Theory, going back to him, he also lost steam when they had him doing the certain, like, the Cena references to build that match.
Oh,
Like he got that rub, but it was like it's not the same Cena rub as it when Cena was working there day to day.
yeah, it's
It's
not the
like,
same.
yeah, like people always say, "Oh, Cena didn't make anybody." He built Edge. Who else? The Miz. Um, Kevin Owens' first match was against Cena. Gave Kevin the rub.
Okay, okay.
Sami
Let's not try to
Zayn's
give this
first
man
match.
too.
I'm just saying, like,
Chill.
there's he. Granted, these guys were already names, but he put them and helped them be established as main event
No, he did. He
talents.
definitely did.
Because Edge was an Intercontinental Champion at the most before he started having the feuds with Cena.
Yeah,
Orton was
that's
already
true.
there, but it helped take Orton, I think, to another level. You
Right.
know, like it wasn't building as much as like taking a guy who nobody knew about and making him a big time superstar. It was okay. We know these guys; they're kind of eh. I'm
Yeah.
gonna help him. Put him in the ring with him, and they got back on their feet, or that next
Yeah.
level.
No, it definitely makes sense. I mean, yeah, I think that didn't do much for him. You could tell Theory. I mean, you could tell Cena wasn't like. I feel like with Cena, with Waller, he's more like, oh, okay, I got somebody. I got a sparring partner. I got somebody who, if I say something, he gonna come back with something.
Yeah,
Where with Theory, it was like, all right, I'm beating up on a little kid. Like I'm beating up on
yeah,
a child
yeah.
here.
His promos with Theory were, man.
Or yeah, you shouldn't give Cena a mic with the dude who's vulnerable. Oh,
It's a wrap.
it's a wrap.
That's. I'd
It's
like
a
to see
wrap.
Cena and LA Knight
Oh
on the
man,
stick,
that'd be fire.
or
That'd be fire.
MJF. MJF's pretty witty too.
Yeah, he is. He
Those would
is.
be good ones.
But yeah, I'm really hoping LA Knight gets it. That pop is going to be
Yeah,
crazy if he gets
yeah.
it. So
And they're in Detroit too, so if they don't give LA Knight the title, they're gonna hear a pop, but it's not gonna be from the fan.
Chill out, man. Detroit's a great city, man. Chill out.
It is. It's a nice place this time of year, but I'm just saying.
That's funny. All right. So before we go to top five most overrated, I actually skipped a part because I usually do this with my guests. All right, Pat. I need you to give people your wrestling history. Like, what's your background? What brought you to wrestling? Who's your favorites? Just so people have context. I mean, I kind of lean toward you, kind of like just cocky white guys, but it's fine.
No, not at all.
It's fine.
I like The Rock too. The Rock's one of my top. But so really started when I was little. My brother is really big into it. And I remember always watching it with him. His birthday back when WrestleMania was in March, his birthday always fell around WrestleMania. So we'd always get that one. We always get WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and Royal Rumble.
Gotcha.
And obviously now with like the streaming services, we get to all of them. But
Yeah.
we'd always watch those. Like I remember watching that, and then like 2000s era was when I fully like remember what I was watching, like Trish Stratus, Lita stuff. JR and King on commentary, like stuff like that. So I mean, young age. There was a period of time where I kind of got out of it. Like I wouldn't watch weekly, but I would still follow it. In college we used to watch the pay-per-views and stuff like that. We wouldn't really watch the weekly stuff, but we would just like, follow it and then watch the pay-per-views. But my favorite wrestlers, top of the list, Taker for sure.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, that's the guy. Shawn Michaels for sure. Triple H. I like Randy Orton. And then AJ Styles.
A lot of white guys.
I watched him. The Rock's in there. Man. Rock's in there.
Oh, that's your excuse.
Rock's the token.
That's your token, huh? Okay.
Montez Ford right now is my current, like the current wrestlers. Montez Ford for sure. Ricochet. Who else? I like Roman. I liked him more of like the babyface Roman though. When he got into the bloodline, when he got to the bloodline, it was a little like, but he's starting to grow on me. The Usos, the New Day, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods. Shout out Woods making video games cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if but the one person I wanted to see live and I never did was Undertaker, and that was my brother seen him at WrestleMania live, and that's a whole different beast.
Dang.
But I never got to. Never got to see him live. So
that's tough.
Yeah,
that's tough. Yeah. Okay. Now we got some context. Just want folks to know that Pat be out here rooting for, and what got him into the game.
Everybody, man, not just cocky white guys. Promise.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you named a few. Try to recover, but I think we see the trend.
I'm just saying those are.
But okay, now we're going to talk about our top 5 most overrated. I have a few honorable mentions. We'll mention those at the end, but we'll go, of course, 5, 4, 4, 3, 6, etc., etc.
So 5 being 1 being like the most overrated, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I got you.
All right, number 5. I'll let you go first.
I said Orange Cassidy.
Oh, bro, we're ending this. This is a wrap. We're ending this.
I told you prior. I was like, it's gonna be some controversial, but so here's my thing. He can go, but at the same time, it's his gimmick to me. Like I don't get the interest. Dude just puts his hands in his pockets and kicks. Like the PW Insider. I listen to some of their podcasts. And they refer to him as Pockets, and it's the most hilarious thing. That's the only reason why I'm maybe a little bit of a fan of him is just because I can call it like his name is Pockets to me. But like I just don't see when I look at Orange Cassidy, he just looks like me with a denim jacket.
No.
Stop. Give me glasses and a denim jacket, and I could be Orange Cassidy. Like,
bro,
he just doesn't. He's not the guy to me. Like he's held that title way too long already.
What?
He's held it way too long.
All right, Pat. All right, man.
Way too long.
You're off to a wild start already.
Way too long. Oh, it's just going to get more from here.
But, bro, he's one of the best wrestlers in the company. He's
That's
made
not saying
that title.
Much, though.
What do you mean it's not saying much?
That's not saying much. That company doesn't... Stop. They have a lot of good spot people who can...
They have a lot of good wrestlers.
Okay.
I'm not going to say everybody's
Daniel
great,
Bryan is a top one. Maybe I'll give you CM Punk, FTR.
Okay. Alistair, like they got a bunch of really good dudes.
Stop.
What are we talking about here?
Or he's not.
Like Roger
he's
Strong?
nowhere clears. You're
Strong
saying all these names. Orange Cassidy's not near Roger Strong's level of talent.
Yes, he is.
You're out of your mind if you think.
Bro,
so.
Yes, he is.
Are you kidding me? Roger Strong can put on a 5-star match with a broomstick. Orange Cassidy, the best match he's had had swimming pools full of orange juice.
No,
that's the only thing I remember him.
That's
what's
fake
the better
news.
Match? That's not fake news.
That's fake news. First of all, his match with his match with Will Ospreay, a classic. Like
because it was Will Ospreay.
No.
Because it was Will Ospreay. That's the only reason why it was a high-rated match. If it was Orange Cassidy versus you, nobody's watching it, Willis.
No,
I'm sorry.
People are watching first of all because of my charisma. Secondly, I'm telling you, Orange Cassidy versus Will Ospreay was fire because Orange Cassidy brought everything to that match. He brought Orange Cassidy. He's amazing.
Jacket. Stop,
bro. When he takes the denim jacket off, like you forget. Oh, okay. The character. Everything else is dope. Oh, the match he had at Forbidden Door was a classic.
I saw a picture from the Barbie movie of Ken, and I swore it was Orange Cassidy.
Bro, chill. First of all, the match at Forbidden Door, fire. Why? Because of my boy.
Who do you face?
What do you face? Zack Sabre Jr.
Because that man can go. He's one of the best wrestlers on the planet. So he carried the match, not Orange Cassidy.
Bro, just because there's other good wrestlers in the match.
Both matches you've mentioned are with guys who were already great and can carry matches and can have great caliber matches.
Just because he's great and they put great opponents against him doesn't mean the other guy carried the match. That's not how this works.
Yes, it is.
No, it doesn't.
Yes.
Bro.
If they put me in the ring with AJ Styles is carrying the match.
He's carrying the match.
We had a good match because AJ Styles. Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying about Orange Cassidy.
My point is, don't compare yourself to Orange Cassidy.
I am because that's basically what it is.
First of all, Orange Cassidy's had the best title run of anybody in AEW.
Because the owner of the company dresses up like him for Halloween.
No.
He's the pet. He's like a dog. He's that little brother type that's like, oh, we're gonna give you this. It's like, when you give your sibling the controller, the game controller, and it wasn't even turned on and made him think they were playing. That's what they're doing with Orange Cassidy. They gave him the belt, but it don't mean anything. They've changed the name of the belt 5 times.
Because of him. It had
because they don't know what to do with it.
Okay. Who was it on before Orange Cassidy?
Nobody. That's exactly.
No, it was on your boy. It was on Neville or whatever the hell the dude's name is.
Pac.
Yeah, that dumbass, that old trash dude. He had it. No one cared.
Nobody still cares because nobody cares about that title.
Nobody still cares?
It's the 24/7 title of AEW.
No, it isn't, bro. You're disrespectful.
What is it? The titles we made on the video game are more prestigious.
No,
than that title.
The AEW International Championship is the best title they have, honestly. Okay, I mean, it's the working man's title.
Stop.
He's made it the Intercontinental title, basically.
Next. We're done with this. Next.
All right.
I hear a lot of nonsense coming out of my headphones here.
All right. Well, let's keep going. Number 5. The phenomenal one.
Stop.
AJ Styles.
You got to be kidding me. Overrated? Bro. The man carried TNA in their glory days. He left.
Glory days?
Oh, yeah. Before Hogan and Bischoff took over, they were up there. They were drawing Angle. They were drawing it's him and Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels were putting on banger after banger after banger after banger.
Samoa Joe carried TNA. First of all,
if you ask anybody, they'll tell you AJ Styles was one of the pillars of that company in their heyday.
But that's like saying I'm the pillar of Buy for Less. That doesn't mean I'm great. That doesn't mean I'm important.
Yes, it is. You ask anybody TNA, they're gonna say AJ Styles.
AJ Styles is in WCW. Didn't hear a peep from homie.
Okay, so he peeped at TNA.
He goes to the G League and he puts in work.
He's held world titles everywhere he's gone. He held world title TNA. He held the New Japan world title, the ROH world title, the WWE world title. Yes, it was after Finn left. That's another one.
Okay, so he's a replacement.
Shout out Finn Balor. But he still held the title. You're going to put a title on a guy who's not that good, who's overrated? No.
What?
Sometimes you do.
There have been plenty of them.
You're right, but not in his case. He is legitimately – other wrestlers have even said he could have a 5-star match with a broomstick.
No, he can't.
Yes, he can.
Name a last classic match he's had. 2014? 13, 15?
Nah, past that. What
was Cena in 16?
No, it was before the almost stuff.
Bro, he was garbage at the almost stuff.
Yeah, that's what hurt him. But they tried to do the Shawn Michaels Diesel thing, and it didn't work because almost can't wrestle.
Man,
there's a reason why they call him almost. Stop. Get out of here.
He didn't have that type of charisma.
Phenomenal forearm. Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't. His moves are weak as hell.
The Undertaker even said that his last match was so good because of AJ Styles. He said, I would not have had that match if it was anybody else but AJ Styles. That's Undertaker. Bro. That's a bona fide legend. You're going to argue with Undertaker?
Yeah, that's cap.
Argue with Undertaker all you want.
You were in a episode match.
But you still got to make that great. He said, like, had they had something in ring, he still would have done it.
If I recorded 30 minutes of me wrestling and I gave you the video, you could edit it up to make it look solid.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying that AJ Styles is not overrated. AJ Styles is phenomenal. He's one of the best wrestlers to ever lace up a pair of boots.
Absolutely not. He couldn't sniff Daniel Bryan's boots.
Stop.
Couldn't sniff Daniel Bryan's boots.
Them together would have a 5, 7, 8-star match. Whatever.
Because of Daniel Bryan.
Metric system we're using now. Meltzer changes it all the time.
Bro, but he couldn't sniff Daniel Bryan.
You interview Daniel Bryan, he'll tell you that. Bryan Danielson. That if AJ Styles is a great wrestler or not, he'll tell you, yeah. Right up there with me.
A lot of these guys would, but I think he's overrated. I think he's good.
It's your opinion. It's an opinionated thing. I'll give that It's your opinion. Whatever you want to, whatever non-true things you want to believe. I'll let you
Bro,
do it. I'm just
what's your
saying,
four?
AJ Styles. Alberto Del Rio.
Okay. Okay. I'm one of the few Alberto Del Rio defenders. I'm not gonna say in like a life, but in the ring, I am sort of a
Yeah. I
defender.
mean, he was solid in the ring, but I just don't like his title reign and stuff wasn't memorable. He was supposed to be that next, Mexican star to kind of carry on the lineage of Rey Mysterio and be the big money drawer from
Right.
for the WWE, but he couldn't do it. I think he kind of got semi-stale, and he just that's another one of those ones they put the title on somebody that's just like, why? What are we doing?
I didn't mind it. I thought he was solid. I mean, he could go in the ring. He had the look.
Right.
I mean, I get what they were thinking,
but it just wasn't.
I mean, the roster was garbage at the time. Didn't have a ton of opponents.
They made the greatest choices.
Yeah, and either you were facing Cena or you were facing some random
CM Punk at that time, because I think CM Punk actually beat him for the title.
Oh, that's right, CM Punk,
the Summer Punk, yeah,
right. So it's like I get it, and like the cash-ins on him were great, but like, he gave you some of the greatest cash-ins of all time.
Right, but I just don't think he was as good as the position that he was in.
I mean, I can see it.
I could see him carrying, like if they had a European title, I would have been a great European champion, great Intercontinental champion. But his WWE championship runs just weren't memorable, and like it was just a down time of the company, and just wasn't as big as advertised.
I mean, I get it. I can semi agree with you on. My number 4 is the rated R superstar Edge. Edge is my number 4. I think.
What are you talking about?
He's one of the more overrated wrestlers ever. I mean, his finisher is a hug. It's a jumping hug in the air. He's not athletic. He's stiff as a board. Like, dude's not athletic.
My man's got a half broken neck out there, putting his body on the line.
Homie was at 25. It looked rough out there.
Because running. He didn't do himself any favors doing all those TLC matches.
I mean, true, but like, dude was stiff. Like, dude, he's good for what he did, but he was stiff. And so, like, yeah, bro, like, no, there's no way a guy like that should be, hey, one of the greatest theme songs of all time, one of the greatest, sticks of all time. He's in some of the greatest groups of all time. Tag teams,
some of the greatest feuds. His feud with The Undertaker, his feud with Cena, his feuds with
That's it, bro.
Yeah, that's really was it.
That's it.
Orton, he had a couple with Orton.
He had a couple with Orton, but
like those. I mean, the man held the World Heavyweight Championship for a hot minute.
He did, but like, I don't know. He's not up there with the best of me. Like, they be putting him up there like he's a GOAT. I'm like, chill. Like, he wasn't hanging with Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero, Benoit, none of that.
He was an Intercontinental champion with them at one point.
I know, but I'm saying, like, at the level of wrestling, he's
anybody
nowhere
was hanging
near
with Benoit, but
chill. Kurt Angle, he's nowhere near any of those guys.
No, Kurt Angle's on a different level. Kurt Angle's a machine.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, he was cool, but like, even
he's definitely second tier. I don't know, the 5-minute poses at him and Christian as a tag team, man.
Bro, that was so stupid.
He's never really been the best on the mic. I'll give you that.
Right, not the best on the mic. He's kind of corny when he's a babyface. Like, come on.
He's better as a heel, but he's more of like the scaredy cat heel.
Exactly. And he can't wrestle heel.
He did it. He did his job the way he needed to.
And then his move names, the Executioner, the Edge-O-Matic, whatever you call it, stupid names. Yeah. I was like, all right, bro. You couldn't take 5 more minutes to think of a name for that, but all right.
Hey, he's one of my tops, man.
He's easily one of the more overrated guys.
I'm not. I give him 9. As a top 10, probably give him 9. Now on a video game, I'm using him all day. We load up the game. I'm playing with Edge because that's the spear is quick to hit.
I mean, it is, but I'm DDTing you and then drop us. But yeah, I think this theme song carries them in many households.
And I think the retiring early with the neck and then coming back, I think is
it definitely put a shine on his legacy that didn't happen before. Like the fact that he won the Royal Rumble in 2020 was a joke.
Yeah, that was a little off. Yeah,
it was a joke. But yeah, who you got number 3?
Ryback.
Okay, that's pretty simple. Yeah,
Ryback. They gave him that opportunity, and then he just was kind of nothing.
Yeah, he was garbage. I did like the Feed Me More, joint, but other than that, it was, you could tell he wasn't talented at all. He was super stiff. He was not even in a good way.
Yeah, it was a great value Goldberg. Like you request Goldberg for a birthday party, but you actually did it on Wish.com, and they sent you right back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, dude was, his moveset was trash. It was just, I don't know. He didn't look good. And Ryback's pretty easy. All right, my number 3. This is gonna hurt some feelings. It's gonna hurt some people's childhoods right here. My little guy, Rey Mysterio.
I went back and forth with him too, but he's the only thing that why I didn't put him on is because of the legitimacy of what he did for Lucha Libre Wrestling in America.
For sure.
But yeah, I can semi give you that. His lineage is what and his backstory is what kind of puts him up there. But his matches, very much carbon copies of themselves.
Yeah. They're literally all the same. We know it's coming. He put Lucha Libre on the map, but so did a bunch of other people. You know what I mean?
He's just one of the first ones that come up to into North America to do it.
Yeah, he's like one of the main one to pop, like mainstream pop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And which I get, but and I think his best matches were in WCW against Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko,
that
Chris
whole
Jericho.
Cruiserweight division. Yeah, that's where he shines because he could have those matches were a little less predictable than when he goes against the bigger guys because it's beat him up, 619 splash. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like we know what it's going to be. Whereas WCW, we didn't know because he was going up against And I will say, to his credit, I think if young Ray would have came up in the game now, he'd be fun because there's so many other cruiserweights that are really good at the WWE level. Where back then, they
was all big guys.
Cruiserweights. Yeah, exactly.
Right. And when they did kind of have a little bit of them, they weren't letting them do the cruiserweight style. It was this is how the style are going to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
His feud with Eddie Guerrero in 2005 when they're doing the Custody of Dominic stuff.
Yeah.
That stuff was good.
That was good. Whenever he got to do it, Edgy. Chavo, any of those guys, you could tell that he had a lot of. I remember that match with Kurt Angle. Actually, now I think about it, was a classic. I want to say SummerSlam. I can't remember what thing that was.
So there was a triple threat with him, Kurt Angle, and Orton at WrestleMania.
That's right.
When he first won the title, after Eddie passed.
Yeah,
that one was pretty good.
Yeah, it was, and I just think I get his lineage, but if you watch you can't name a classic Rey Mysterio match other than the one he had back in '95 against Eddie. You know what I'm saying? And I guess the one with Kurt Angle, but that was 2004 or something like that. So, and homie been going at it for about 30 years or so.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he's just one of my overrated. I really like Ray, but one of my overrated ones. You got number
Fair
2.
Enough. This is gonna hurt a lot of feelings here. Bianca Belair.
See,
but I love the street. I love the Street Profits.
Well, who cares? Why you got
Street Profits? Don't like Bianca. Okay, I enjoy Bianca, but she's not as good as people say she is. Mainly because the only time she has good matches is with other people who can carry a match. So in this Asuka Charlotte feud, she's gonna look like a star because they're carrying a match, and all she has to do is be Bianca. When she was against, hear me out.
Okay.
Her feud with Alexa Bliss, the match at the Royal Rumble, I went up to use the restroom and didn't feel like the crowd was dead.
It's Alexa Bliss.
Because exactly, Bianca, if you're gonna put her on a top tier level with the 4 horsewomen, she's got to carry a match. She can't carry the match. The matches that she has to carry the match, they're still good matches. They're just very clunky, a lot of botching, a lot of timing issues.
Bro, but it just doesn't look good. It's always
but that's the thing.
Garbage she's put up with.
When Charlotte or Asuka or Becky are in the ring with those guys, maybe not Asuka because Asuka still has some clunky stuff, but when Charlotte and Becky, even Bayley are in the ring with people like that, Sasha Banks, when any of them are in the ring with people like that, it doesn't look as clunky and it's still good because they can carry. They know how to work towards that person's skill. And they're not. I mean, Bianca's still very green. Still very green. She had her time in NXT. There's a reason why she didn't win an NXT title, first off.
First of all, we know that's cap. First of all, we know they was trying to push Rhea and they had Shayna. So the timing didn't work out.
But she still wasn't at the level to carry that. Like, I would have left her there after they left and let her run with the title. And then go to the main roster. I think they called her up a little too early. Like, I mean, she can go. If that triple threat that we talked about earlier comes to fruition, that it's going to be a banger. Because she can go. She can do what what her character does. To do the strength and the stuff like that. It just gets too gymnasticy sometimes, and it's too clunky. I just don't feel like when she's not with somebody who can carry a match, just like you said with AJ Styles, there's not been a good match unless there's somebody else in the ring that's just as good as her. That's all I'm saying.
This is cat.
I'm not saying I'm not a fan. I'm just saying she's not as good as.
Bro, she's never had a bad match. She hasn't had a bad match on a
She has.
On a big stage.
There's been several bad matches she had.
Oh, well, what?
Who did she face at the Carmella matches? Terrible. That's why they're on Raw
Carmella.
and not on pay-per-view. Carmella is a former champion.
And what does that mean to me?
Exactly.
No.
Neither can Alexa Bliss, and Bianca can't really wrestle unless she's in there with someone else who can carry and call a match.
Stop saying that, bro. Stop saying that. First of all,
it's facts. I'm getting them facts out the printer, and I'm giving them to you.
No, she's had matches of the year candidate with numerous women. Now, is it her fault? What do you mean?
Name
Sasha
them.
Banks.
Can carry
Charlotte Flair.
Can carry it.
No. Charlotte Flair.
Can carry the match.
Becky Lynch.
Can carry the match. Yes. I'm not arguing with you on those because they all three can carry the match. You just proved my point. I didn't prove your point. Down. I'll let you go.
No, I didn't prove your point. What I'm saying is
you proved my point.
No, I didn't.
That's saying all the ones I named that she can have good matches with. Go.
Because those are all the top girls. What do you want me to name? Some random woman that's not at
But
the
you
top?
said, but that's who you have to have good matches with if you want to elevate other talent.
She can have a great match. She can have a classic. She can have a classic with Rhea tomorrow.
Because Rhea can go. Rhea can carry a match.
Can go. Okay. Rhea can't carry a match.
Yes, she can.
What?
Yes, that's why her and Charlotte were so good. They can both carry a match.
Bro.
Her and Natty. You're telling me Natty can carry a match though. But
you're talking about Rhea and Zelina Vega was good? Absolutely.
Yeah. Zelina can Rhea can carry the match. She plays that Zelina. It helped that Zelina was it was a Rey Mysterio match, but female version. Except Zelina didn't go over. She got squashed. But I'm just saying, Bianca's good. Bianca's at the top in that division, but she's not as good as people make her out to be to me. That's all I'm saying.
You're wilding, bro. It's a wild take. I go at dudes on the internet when they say stuff like this. This is wild.
Just like I said, it's college all over again.
Yeah, exactly. This is a wild take. All right, my number 2, Bray Wyatt.
Speaking of wild takes,
Bray Wyatt is one of the more overrated wrestlers, possibly of all time. I love, as you know, I used to use Bray Wyatt in our matches every time I beat your ass in 2K. But
that's 3 times, maybe.
No, numerous. But Bray Wyatt back in the day when he was like the Eater of Worlds, loved it. I'm cool with that. because it didn't take too much away from the other person. The other person didn't have to change their character to go up against you. Like it was, fairly normal, right? Lights would flick off and on, nothing great, but fairly normal. When he became the Fiend, he became all these other things. It's like, all right, now you're making your opponent look bad. You're making your opponent look weird. Your opponent can't shine like against LA Knight. LA Knight should have been where he is now, but he had to go through Bray Wyatt, which slowed his momentum.
That match was weird. That match even in person was weird.
See, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that was dumb. The match was stupid.
That's the one thing. Dude's creative as much anybody that I've known, but he doesn't quite know how to build his character without being a big monster that squashes everybody.
Exactly.
And that's what got him into trouble with the Fiend. Is that's what he built a character as, and creative team was like, well, can't really have anybody beat you because it doesn't make sense.
Right. Yeah.
Like if Brock Lesnar I could see Brock Lesnar beating the Fiend, but that's really at that time that was the only guy.
Yeah, it really was. And it made like dudes like Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan, all these dudes look inferior when it's like we all know that isn't the case. You know what I mean? And so it was just I don't know. Again, guys like that, I don't know. It's a way to do it like the Undertaker, where you obviously are a monster, but you make the other person look good at the same time.
Yeah.
And every time he's done it, he's kind of sucked the air out of the room into where the other person can't benefit at all. And even wrestling wise, he's never been great. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he can tell a story in the ring pretty well, because he comes from that, he's a, third generation or whatever superstar.
Yeah.
But yeah, he hasn't quite figured out the whole, now like the Eater Worlds Bray Wyatt, like you mentioned, the Cult Leader Wyatt, that one was good because that character, you could get away with certain people,
right.
If that guy took a loss, it made kind of sense. Okay, I could, I believe that guy beat him. But like when Seth Rollins is sitting the Fiend with a chair and the Fiend's just standing there, like, how is Seth Rollins? That is believable for Seth Rollins to beat somebody like that.
Right.
Then you take that element out. Like, what does Seth Rollins got to do to beat somebody like that?
Yeah.
And
it makes him look bad, man.
Yeah.
And I hope he go, because Wyatt family, all that stuff was amazing. Mm-hmm. But once he got away from that, I'm just like, And I mean, there's rumors that he may come back. I don't say rumors. I know the Undertaker said he should go back to the Eater of Worlds gimmick. Yeah. And I hope he does, because even the comeback this past year, whatever it was, at was it Extreme Rules, I think, in Philly?
Yeah.
That was cool, but
it just it didn't go anywhere. And that was the other thing. My brother and I was talking about this all the time, is his stories, it doesn't seem like they connect anywhere. There's no oh, okay, this is why he's doing this.
Right,
with Undertaker, when he was doing stuff like that, it made sense. Oh, you wronged him, so he's coming at you for it.
Exactly.
Or when he was with the Ministry of Darkness, it was, I'm going to try to turn you into one of my ministry minions.
Right.
With Bray Wyatt, it's just it was always the only person who knew where he was going was him.
Exactly.
He can talk on a mic, he can give good promos, but it was like listening to a lecture.
Yeah, it was. And it was it was just overcomplicated, too much, especially for a WWE audience. They don't want to hear all that.
Yeah, it's half kids.
Exactly, yeah. It's they don't want to hear about their transgressions and all these other words. It's come on, man. Bray Wyatt, number 2 for me. Who you got number 1?
The Young Bucks.
Oh, nah, bro, that's cap.
Not at all.
Cap, so bro.
Here's my reasoning behind it. They're very set up spotty, one, right? Even if you don't give them that, there's never been a card where it's, oh, I'm paying to see the Young Bucks. It's always Young Bucks, oh, but the Hardys, they're facing the Hardys. I want to see that match. Or Kenny Omega's been on the card, so it's helped them, or been in the match with them. They don't have that. To me, they don't have that. We want to go see the Young Bucks, like the Acclaimed. Nobody's, if when they were first starting, it wasn't, oh, they're facing the Young Bucks, that's gonna be real exciting. It's
right.
Okay, but the Young Bucks are facing the Hardys. It was I'm watching it because they're facing the Hardys, or because they're facing FTR, or because they're facing the Briscoes.
Right.
It wasn't, this team is facing the Young Bucks. That's what makes me want to watch it. And they just I think they get too much credit sometimes for, like we said with Jey Uso when the 1,000 super kicks is, back in the day, Shawn Michaels hit you with one of those, maybe two,
right.
if it was certain opponents, and it was a wrap. He wasn't hitting 100 on nobody because you weren't getting up after one or two. So that's why they're up there for me.
I used to be there, but after watching some matches, I'm like, bro, they doing some creative stuff, bro. They doing stuff I ain't seen.
And that's the thing, though.
Matches.
Like, I give them that, but they have to set all that stuff up. And granted, wrestling, that's what you do. You okay, but you don't make it obvious.
Yeah.
Like, if me and you are going, and we know one of our big spots is going to be me doing a moonsault onto you, like from the corner, we're going to make it, a believable way. Like, you're going to probably throw me into the corner, come at me, I'm going to make you miss, jump, do all the thing, and not like make it obvious. Okay, we're going to this spot now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that gets me. Like, I'll give you that. They're some of the most creative spots I've seen.
Yeah.
And sometimes stuff that doesn't need to be done, It's almost like, cool, you did that and that's a cool spot, but what story is it telling with the rest of the match other than just it's a cool spot? So
I sort of agree with you there. I mean, they definitely get a lot of love, and sometimes it's like, all right, like, they're kind of annoying on Twitter and other places, but I think I don't think they're the best tag team in the world by any means, but I do think obviously they're up there, and like their creativity is what gets me, like the like surprising athletic ability. Like, I don't be expecting some of the spots they do, so yeah.
Right.
I get it. I get it. All right, my number one. AEW fans ain't gonna like me for this one.
Uh-oh.
My number one most overrated wrestler right now in the modern era is Jon Moxley.
So I was actually gonna put him on my list, but I was like, ooh, I'm getting very AEW heavy.
Yeah.
I don't want to, like, I'm gonna come out and say it. I don't watch AEW. I'm not the biggest fan of AEW just because I don't think it's the way they're presenting themselves. I still think they take way too many shots at WWE.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, you're trying to compete with them, but you're not going to.
Right.
It's like me and you trying to start a computer company and trying to compete with Dell.
Right.
Like, Dell's been in business for 20 some odd years. Like, we're nowhere going to compete with them.
Right.
And the more shots they take at WWE, it's like, okay. But so that's why I didn't put him in there. But I like the Dean Ambrose character.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan of the person, but the Jon Moxley character to me is just like, hey man, let's just go get cut open.
Yeah, like, that's my thing. Is like, I didn't like him as Dean Ambrose, to be honest. I just don't like his like mannerisms, all that shit. Is just he reminds me of the kid at school that was like, I'm tough, but like, walking around like I'm tough, but you knew like, all right, bro, you ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I feel like that's his character for the most part. Like, he's extremely annoying. He's not good with promos to me. The whole walk from the crowd thing is like, okay, bro, you're not like that, my guy. Like,
he's like trying to bring ECW back, and it's like, there's a reason why ECW died, man. Like,
right, and then
10 people at most like that kind of.
It's like, and then not to mention the cuts and like cutting himself, bleeding every single match, and it's like he reminds me of one of those like, those extreme wrestlers that like you see on an amateur video on TikTok or doing stupid stuff. He's one of
jumping
those
off
guys.
A house onto some light bulbs. Unnecessary.
So like hitting each other with light bulbs and stuff. I'm just like, what do we like? It's just a lot of his stuff. I just feel like it's unnecessary. Like, the best match I saw him wrestle was in Forbidden Door when he went up against Eddie Kingston and his group. And like him and Eddie Kingston went at it for a while.
Yeah.
And like,
I know what you're talking about.
that was cool. Like I appreciate that he loves wrestling and he loves like the international side of wrestling, but it's like I don't think he's that good in the ring. I don't think his finisher's trash. He's not very good on the mic. He is overly, I don't know. He just tries to be. I feel like when I watch him, I'm like, oh, you're trying to be a wrestler. Like you're trying out to be a wrestler right now. Whereas just being naturally just yourself and being like, oh, okay, that guy's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, I got to do whatever I think a wrestler would do in my mind when he does stuff.
He's getting to the point where like he like you said, he bleeds every match, and it's to the point where it's like, okay, cool, there's blood. Like it doesn't like when back in the day when like Ric Flair or Dusty Rhodes would get blood, like it would be a lot of blood, but it was like it was a war, like that's how you knew it was the big match was they're both bloodied up, barely trying to crawl out of the cage, like and now it's like, okay, it's Wednesday, and how many hours into the show before Dean Ambrose is bloody?
Right, exactly. Like, it's just a lot of unnecessary stuff, and I feel like, he was supposed to be the leader of the Blackpool Combat Club, but then they've been their best when Brian Danielson has been the leader. Like that's when they've been at their best, is when he's been the leader. Yeah. So
I like that faction more away from Jon Moxley.
Same. Yeah.
Like because you got guys that Yuta can go, Claudio can go, Ryan can go, and then really just need those three. That new guy that interfered at Forbidden Door, Takahashi or whatever. If they want to put him in there, cool. But even like they don't really need him. Just those three. There's a trios championship, which the amount of championships in that company is another thing. But
bro, I don't see the anti-championship belts thing. I never understood it. I never understood that.
It's just more of like it's. A lot of people think it takes prestige away from other championships because it's like it feels like everybody's a champion. You know what I mean? So it doesn't mean.
I get that, but like I love like creative stuff. Like I love New Japan. Like I feel like New Japan does a great job with titles. Now, would I have a title for every weight division? Probably not. But I do like the like trios, tag team, super heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I do like that because this gives them more of like a sports feel.
Yeah, like there's good ways to do it. And I think what also didn't help is when they bought ROH and kind of brought that in. And so you have the ROH titles, you have the AEW titles. And, and that was my point with the, what are they calling now? The all C's of the World Championship or something like that?
Oh, bro, it's the International Championship.
Okay. At one point, it was like the All Atlantic, but then there was stuff that wasn't in the Atlantic, so they had to change the name to something else. I think it was just like the Oceans title, or.
Here we go.
Titles like that, they're supposed to be prestigious and supposed to be, we want people to take this serious. It's like, oh well, which one's better, the ROH television title that Samoa Joe has, or the Orange Juice Championship?
Okay. All right, bro. We get it. We get you don't like the guy. We get it.
Which one is supposed to be, am I supposed to care about more? So like once they get Ring of Honor to their own thing and not showcase Ring of Honor championships on AEW television, then you can mention that, hey, this person also holds a championship in Ring of Honor, but he doesn't have to come out with the belt. He doesn't, because it's like, and then you run into the problem of who you're going to put over in a match. Like, so it just like muddies things for me. But if they can separate or like Ring of Honor into their own thing and just have the AEW ones, it wouldn't be as bad. It wouldn't seem like they have so many championships. But
I'm
that's
weird
my take on that one.
I'm kind of old school. Like I like the like territory type vibes back in the day where like you pull up at a different territory, have your belt from the other territory that you just went to. You know what I mean? I kind of like that. Now,
well, the only one I think they
many.
Yeah. I think the only one they did that in the territory days was the NWA one, like the big gold belt.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, like if somebody was they would acknowledge it, and like every once in a while come out with the title, but they would make sure to let you know, like, hey, yeah, he's this champion, but he wants this.
Right.
You know,
Right.
like they don't. If Samoa Joe and Orange Cassidy go at it, you know, they don't say Orange Cassidy has the AEW title, but he wants the ROH title. You know, like
Right.
when you're also wanting that title to be just on equal level, there's just different brands, different shows.
Yeah.
You know, that's what hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get
I mean,
you.
I
I
get
get
it.
you.
I get it. I mean, for me, yeah, it's AW. I like the product. I wish sometimes I feel like they bury certain guys that shouldn't be buried. Like one of my favorite guys in AEW right now is Brody King. I'm like,
Mhm.
why isn't he being pushed to the moon? He's a big guy who can go with anybody. Has shown him and Darby have crazy chemistry, but I feel like they bury the bigger guys to push the smaller, more technical sound guys. You know what I mean? It's just like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's a weird model, but yeah, Moxley's for sure most overrated. Like
Yeah,
he's
I'll give you that. I don't know about one, but I definitely like I'll give you the Moxley being overrated.
yeah, he's easily. Honorable mention, Asuka, one of the most overrated women's wrestlers I've ever seen.
Only because her style fits better. Like if she was in New Japan,
Yeah,
you probably wouldn't think of it because, and if she's like, if when her and Io Sky eventually wrestle each other,
yeah,
it'll make a little bit more sense. But she's
maybe
definitely like that Shinsuke like New Japan style. Like
right.
their style works and looks better in that
Yeah,
area.
maybe you're right. I love Io. Io's superstar to me. Like she should
Mm-hmm.
be shot to the moon. But yeah, Asuka, I'm just like none of these strikes look hurtful. None of these strikes look dangerous. Like I don't know. It just doesn't look great to me when Asuka wrestles. So
When she, when she goes again, there's been a couple times where she's had like matches with Charlotte Flair, and I think
yeah,
even Bianca where she's been a little stiffer with them. And it's like,
yeah,
oh, that backhand was
right,
kind of brutal. Like, but I think sometimes she holds back on the ones who are a little greener,
yeah,
and so it kind of hurts her a little bit. But now that she's in with back, you know, in the feuds with Bianca and Charlotte and like
right.
those people, hopefully she'll look a little better. But yeah, Io Sky for sure. Like, and her and Io's promos on the mics,
Oh
you
man,
don't even know what they're saying. They're just yelling at each other.
yeah, it's hilarious.
You love it.
It's hilarious,
Love it.
bro. I'm looking forward to that matchup a lot.
I
I
hope they
love
do it.
Io.
I hope
Yeah,
they
I hope
do
so
it.
too. I
I
hope
would
so too.
even if it's like a failed cash in and he was like, you know what? I know I didn't cash it in right or whatever, but like I know I can beat you. I'm
Yeah,
cool. Run it back five
yeah.
times.
That's what I was telling one of my guys last time. I was like, I think because they have so much respect for each other, I could see Io walking up to her and being like, in honor, out of an honor thing, I'm gonna cash
Yeah.
it in. We're gonna meet up at this particular date and this particular time, and we're gonna go at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I could definitely see that. But okay, let's go over. Oh wait, did I have another? Shawn Michaels, another honorable mention for me.
Stop.
Shawn Michaels is a little overrated to
Stop.
me. I feel like
Stop. He's the reason why the Young Bucks do what they do, why the Usos do what they do, Dolph
bro,
Ziggler does what he does. There would be no super kick without Shawn Michaels.
I understand that, but people act like Shawn Michaels wasn't out here for like only like 8 years. Like homie had a 8 year run. You know what I'm saying? That's like
It was
saying
longer than that. So he started in AWA with Marty Jannetty as a tag team.
right,
Came to WWE in like the late 80s, early 90s. Eventually broke away from Marty Jannetty. And then like even with the Intercontinental title, the stuff that he did with Diesel, like before the whole Bret Hart thing, like that man was putting on classics.
bro. He went from like for like 6 years, left, came back for another like 6 years, and then was like, oh, he's a goat. I'm like, yo,
Because he
chill.
more based off of his before he left the first time. Because he was doing stuff like the high flying stuff before
Yeah,
that was really a thing back then.
yeah, it's true.
Now you see it all the time, so it's kind of
Yeah,
like, oh, this is, but it's more so because he not necessarily innovated it because there's a bunch of other people like Lucha Libre where they were doing all that already,
right.
but like you didn't really see it in North American wrestling at the time.
Yeah.
So like that's what made him and Marty Jannetty so big and so wanted so much by these companies was their style. It's not really seen before because when they were a tag team, they were going against teams like the Hart Foundation, Demolition, the Road Warriors, the FTR type of tag teams.
Right. Yeah.
And they were the Young Bucks pretty much, like high flying stuff like that. Better than Young Bucks, but
chill.
Like for the guy paid way for like the Hardys to do their stuff. Edge and Christian,
I mean,
their stuff. Like
I get that he's like a trendsetter. I get that, but it's like I like Shawn Michaels honestly after he came back. Like once he came back, I was like, oh, okay, I see it.
He didn't. He also didn't do a lot of that high flying stuff. It was a lot more savvy, grounded. Right. The 2 matches he had with Taker are probably some of the best WrestleMania matches I've ever seen.
Right, exactly. Like
he's a showstopper for a reason.
You got carried in that match.
I don't know. Your logic. It's very, very even.
That's your logic.
I think they both were calling it evenly at the same time. I think they're calling it on the fly.
You can't have 2 people calling a match.
Yeah, you can. It happens all the time.
Yeah, it's suspect.
I call a spot. You call a spot. That's how it goes.
Okay, so let's go through. Name out your top 5. Just a reminder for folks.
A top 5 all time.
Or your top 5 most overrated that you just listed.
Okay. So number 5, Orange Cassidy.
Joke. That's a crazy.
Number 4, Alberto Del Rio.
Okay.
Number 3, Ryback. Number 2, Bianca Belair.
Well, joke.
Number 1, Young Bucks.
It's a joke, man.
I had Braun Breaker on there. Braun Breaker was my honorable mention.
Ooh, okay. I see what you're saying there. I will say his spear is nasty.
It is. Yeah, it definitely looks nasty. But he's also like, you're talking about charisma. Like, he doesn't excite me. You know what I mean? Like, his championship run, it wasn't like, oh, I want to see, like, I want to see him as a champion. It just was like, oh, wait. I remember when he first won the title, I was like, okay, I guess they did go that route.
I'm the same way. Like, I was just like, let's get to Mello. Like, can we hurry up and get to
Mello? Mello, that was one of my honorable mention match of the weeks. Mello, the tag team match that Mello and his buddy had with Finn Balor and Damian Priest.
Yeah. That was really good. Now you say that was really good. Damian Priest, Finn versus Mello and Trick Williams, really good. Yeah. Okay. My top 5 was number 5, AJ Styles, of course.
Joke.
Number 4, Edge. On this day,
I see. You ain't seeing clearly, Willis. You know.
Number 3, Rey Mysterio. Number 2, Bray Wyatt, and number 1, trash Jon Moxley.
John, the plumber. That's what Cornette calls him, is the plumber.
Yeah, he literally looks like a plumber out there wrestling. Okay. All right, Pat. I had a good time, man.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it definitely felt like we were back in the dorms again in college, going back and forth.
Yeah, that's facts. But yeah, I definitely want to have you on more, and have you in the rotation of guests I have, and we can kind of chop it up about different things. I'm glad you're still tapped in. You know what I mean? I was worried that you got rusty on me. You know what I mean?
Nah, never. I've been slacking a little bit on the weekly stuff, but and now that they moved the pay-per-views to Saturday, sometimes I work Saturdays when we have games and stuff. So
that's true. Yeah.
I gotta watch it the next day. But no, I try to stay as in tap. I was for a while when Cody Rhodes lost. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna watch this, man. I don't know. That was there. There's no other bigger time, but I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, I'm getting back in it slowly. So
yeah, and I mean it's a lot better product now. I'd say like than before, where it was kind of hard to watch. It would be hard to get through a Raw episode. Where now it's like okay, no, it's not that bad.
Yeah, you can definitely see Triple H's imprint on it have helped a lot.
Exactly. So. But all right, Pat, I appreciate you coming on, man. And for folks out there, if you want to hit us up on the socials at the LMG Podcast on Twitter, on YouTube, on our Facebook group, we have the League of Melanated Gentlemen Podcast. That's a Facebook group. That's where we talk about a bunch of different stuff. And yeah, hit us up. If you got any issues with our list, you can hit us up there. And other than that, we out.